What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters and welcome to Live to Metal. It's time for Rock Metal Update. That's right, it's time for a Rock and Metal Update. This is going to be an all 7-inch Rock and Metal update. A little more rock than metal in this one, but there is some metal starting off with that as a matter of fact. 7-inch single, Nuclear Blast Promo EP number 2. This is from 1993. Shocked to find this locally at a record store for $5 on Clear Wax. Nuclear Blast Records, Germany, no less. This features 4 songs from 4 death metal acts. Although one might be considered a grindcore band, but regardless, this features one of my favorite bands of all time, Mortification, as well as another favorite of mine from the death metal scene of the 90s, Gorefest, as well as Benediction and Macrobee. You got Mortification's Inflamed from the Scrolls of Megaloth album, Night Fear from Transcend the Rubicon, Gorefest, False from the False album, and Macrobee, Montreal Massacre from their Sinister Slaughter album. Can't say that I'm a huge fan of Macrobee. It's one of the few I'm not familiar with. The other 3 I was very familiar with. In the early 90s is when I was really into the death metal scene. Kind of lost interest in it over the years because it just got stale, if you ask me. But I still love a lot of that early death metal stuff. And you like Death, Mortification, Gorefest. So there you go. Very cool little 4-song EP. Not something you find usually in a store locally, but very cool to find that one. This one here was I've shown it before. This came from Greg the Egg, or Blackmore Rules. This is the Girl School, Fox on the Run, Tear It Up 7-inch single. Difference between what I'm showing here now and what I was showing when he originally came. When it originally came, it came in this white sleeve. So of course, I looked it up after I showed it online, on YouTube, and found out it came with an Enigma sleeve. Had to, go ahead and find one of those sleeves, and I did. So there you go. And I think this is a really cool record company sleeve. It's nothing real special about it. It's got their logo and the big Enigma font over here, but still really cool. Speaking to can't remember which person I was speaking to. I was speaking to several people about 7-inch singles, and I said I might show a few of my favorite record company sleeves. This is one of them. Yep. This next one's cool. This one I picked up on eBay in a lot with a few others that I picked up. But this is Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes, Free Flight and Sasha. This is a from 1974 single. This was to promote the re-release of a couple of Amboy Dukes albums on the Discreet label. 2 originals from Ted Nugent. It's odd that they chose Free Flight to be the lead single for this, considering it is an instrumental. And it's a cool song, I like it. Sasha is a mellower song, and both those songs come off of the underrated Amboy Dukes album, or Ted Nugent album, Tooth, Fang, and Claw. So, yeah, very cool from 74. Very glad to have anything used in my collection. Obviously, you guys know me and what I like, and that's what I like. This next one's cool too. This is the very first single from one of my very favorite bands. There's actually a bootleg release. I'm not sure of the exact year it was released. Everything I see online says 1990. Perhaps that's true. I can't really tell you if that's true or not. Like I said, it's a bootleg. This is Thin Lizzy, the Farmer, and I Need You. This is the very first single from Thin Lizzy, and it's very rare in any form, especially the original, because there was only like 500 out there. This repressing, it's actually kind of funny because the center ring says Thin Boys, and the name of the song is Need You and The Farm. Obviously, The Farmer and I Need You are the real names of the songs. It says promotional use only, not for sale, and it's got the copyright year of 1990 on it as well. So I'm not sure if all these places online that list it, including Discogs, is saying 1990 because that's the year printed on there. I really honestly don't know when this was released. Regardless, the original was released back in 1974, 73, right around that area, and it did not have a picture sleeve like this. So I'm very glad to have this, regardless if it's a bootleg or not. It sounds good. It's very cool to have. I'll take anything Thin Lizzy in my collection. This one I picked up. I've been watching one of these on eBay for a long time, and one of the eBay sellers was asking $9 plus $4 shipping, and man, I just didn't want to pay that for a single. Then I seen one pop up for a much more reasonable price and snagged it. This is a UK pressing of Helix, Gimme Gimme Good Lovin'. Of course, Gimme Gimme Good Lovin' being a cover song that they had a hit with off of the Walking the Razor's Edge album, back with When Hammer Falls. Then it's on the Capitol label. Like I said, this is a UK pressing. Just adding to my ever-growing Helix collection. As some of you guys know, in the last couple of years, I've been kind of on this Canadian rock and metal kick, and I've always been a fan of Helix since the 80s. But just really started getting more into them in the last couple of years again for some reason. Someone told me recently that Helix are corny, or what was the word that I can't remember they used? I don't know. Cheesy might have been the word they used. You know, maybe they are cheesy, I don't know. I don't really care, because, you know, what's wrong with a big old hunk of cheddar once in a while? I dig Helix. Great band. Gimme Good Lovin'. UK 7-inch single. This one I did with a trade with somebody from Mexico. And I sent them a box with a 7-inch single and a few extras. And he sent me a box with a bunch of extras. And if I would have known that was in the box, I probably would have done an edition of The Mill. But instead I opened it and I didn't do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and show the 7-inch single that I traded for him. I had an extra Ozzy 7-inch single that I traded for this Triumph single. This is actually a US pressing, not a Mexican pressing, of Stranger in a Strange Land, backed with Follow Your Heart. And it is on a red vinyl from 1987, 85, from the 7th Thunders album, Thunder 7 album. Very cool single. Again, Canadian hard rock, power trio. Love this band. Couldn't say, and I've again been to this band since probably the late 70s, early 80s. But I was never as into them as I am right now for some reason. I actually seen them in concert back in the 80s, and I might have been on this tour. I'm positive it was on this tour actually, and they were great. And they had Leslie Weston Mountain opening up for them. But for some reason, in the last couple of years, I just really been getting into this Canadian rock stuff, and Triumph is one I've just been looking for singles from, picture sleeve singles. So I'm very glad to have this one. And while I'm at it, let me show you this the T-shirt he sent along with it, because this is just way too cool. Anybody knows Captain Howdy, you'll know his favorite guitar player is Bruce Kulick, and he sent me this cool Bruce Kulick T-shirt. Yeah. So, very cool. Obviously looks like one of the Kiss solo albums, except it's Bruce Kulick's face. So, very cool shirt. Very glad to have it. Very cool trade. Hope he enjoys what I sent him as much. Alright, this next one came in that same batch that from the Ted Nugent one I showed earlier. Guitarist Roy Albrighton from Nectar died 2 days ago. So I've been on kind of a Nectar kick the last couple days, listening to Nectar in my car at work. And this is a single from Nectar, which I purchased, and I got it, 2-3 weeks ago. And German pressing from the Man on the Moon album. 2 songs, Too Young to Die, Can't Stop Now. Nectar singles don't show up very often, especially picture sleeve singles. They were never that popular here in the US, so I'm very glad to find this one on the Areola label. Show you the back. There's actually in the back, get this album, Man on the Moon. Dropped it. Good thing there was no record in it. And there's the center ring. Very cool. Let's see what we got here next. I got only a handful left. This one came also as a VCLT that I showed recently. Didn't know much about it other than that it was a record store release and that I wanted it. But this is the Rockin' Vickers Dandy. Now Dandy is a Kinks song redone by the Rockin' Vickers. The Rockin' Vickers features guitar player Lemmy Kilmister, Ian Kilmister at the time, and not yet known as Lemmy, I don't believe. And the B-side features a song called I Don't Need Your Kind. And this is very 60s rock and roll, bebop kind of stuff. Very different from, the work he did with Hawkwind or Motorhead, of course. And the Dandy song is very poppy sounding, very unlike what you would expect from Lemmy. But the B-side actually has a bit of a grind to it. I Don't Need Your Kind has kind of a growl to the guitar tone, which is not something you hear too much of back in. This is back in 1960s, probably like '66 or so. I don't know if there's a year on here or not. I think it was around 66 or 67 this was released. But anyhow, very cool. Dandy, I Don't Need Your Kind, repressing from 2016 Record Store Day. Again, very glad to have it. I just didn't know much about it when I showed it, so I wanted to show it again and give some information on the album. This is an official repressing, not a bootleg like the Thin Lizzy I showed. Regardless, glad to have it. Next three from the same band. David Coverdale and Whitesnake. I believe this is a UK pressing. Would I Lie to You and Girl from the Come and Get It album. Promotional, well, it's not really a promotional item. It is a promotional item. Most 7-inch singles are released as promotional items, but this was actually sold to the public on the Liberty label. These next two are also Whitesnake. Both of these are 3-song singles. They're calling them EPs. This is the Ready and Willing, Sweet Satisfaction 7-inch EP, 3 songs. It has Ready and Willing, Nighthawk, Vampire Blues, and We Wish You Well, taken from 3 different albums. So you got Ready and Willing, Trouble, and Love Hunter, all on the same 7-inch EP on the United Artists label. As well, this one was released apparently to support a tour that they were doing at the time. This is Fool for Your Lovin', Side Mean Business, and Side Mean Business. On the B side is Mean Business and Don't Mess With Me, from the albums Ready and Willing, Love Hunter, and Trouble Again. And apparently the band were touring in 1980, and the tour dates are on the back, and this was released to support that tour. Kind of a fun cover. The snake is actually a belt, not a snake at all. Snakeskin belt. Very cool, again on the United Artists label. Picked up all 3 of those, as well as that New Nectar from the same seller. And also this last one I'm going to show. This last one I was super excited to get. I'm a huge UFO fan, so this is a picture sleeve I didn't own by them yet. Unfortunately, this picture sleeve is marred by the fact that the vinyl came with a crack in it. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on vinyl right now, but on vinyl. Speak! I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on camera right now, but there's a crack right there in the vinyl. And that crack definitely affects play. So I would not put this on my turntable in fear of ruining my needle. Otherwise, it would have been in mint condition. There was nothing wrong with it. And when it was sold to me, it was listed in mint condition. However, the box came and it was not destroyed, not damaged. And all those other vinyl albums were in there as well, and none of them were damaged. This was the only one. So I have a feeling it was sent to me this way from the seller, and he just didn't see it or didn't catch it. I don't think it was a malicious thing. Regardless, he gave me my money back for this one immediately. So this basically is only a placeholder in my collection so I can find another copy of this. This was a single for the Strangers in the Night live album. And I believe not all these songs... see, the 3 songs on here, Dr. Doctor, On With the Action, and Try Me. And only Dr. Doctor actually made it onto the Strangers in the Night album. So, cool little 3-song, 7-inch EP. Hopefully I can find me another copy of that eventually. Regardless, for now it's just a placeholder. Maybe I can even find one that doesn't have the picture sleeve and just Frankenstein it and put them two together, right? So there you go. My short but sweet 7-inch vinyl update. Rock Metal Update for whatever today is. I don't even know what the date is. Regardless, it's a hot Saturday here in New Mexico, which is why I have my hair all pulled back and I'm wearing barely a shirt. It's just warm here. So anyhow, appreciate you all watching. I hope you will go ahead and leave a comment below, thumbs it up if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Really enjoy talking to you guys about music. Thanks for all the great comments on the past videos. Keep them coming. I try and answer every single one of them. So, you know, most times I do it immediately. Sometimes it might take me a day or two, so be patient, but I try to answer everybody. So, appreciate you all watching. That's it for No Lights and Metal. God bless. Stay strong.